Hello, everybody. Welcome to another replay cast with us, the BattleBrothers. And today we're presenting you a game, submitted by Jerry Muno, who's helped out the channel on many occasions now. So again, big thank you to him. And if you want to do us a favor, please feel free to check him out on Twitch. The link is, as always, in the video description. And so today we're going to cast a game between him and 2960X. I'm not quite sure who that is, whether that is a Smurf or a lesser known player, I don't know. But this is a France versus Lakota game. It has been played on the ladder quite recently, I believe yesterday night, actually. So this is post France and Lakota nerf. And
Right.
we'll see how this works out. We're
So
playing on Florida, I believe.
You probably will see this only like a couple of days later, so like sometime during the week, I would say. I'm right now not really sure about the schedule, the upload schedule that we have in plan for the next days. But so this game was played on the 20th of March.
Exactly, and we're recording it on the 21st on Sunday, actually.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, we're playing on Florida. So we got a TP line. It's a bit harder for the Lakota to grab that now because they have 100 wood less.
Yeah, and he's not aiming to do so. He's actually going for the market, chopping some wood now. We'll probably go to for hunting dogs or hunting eagles.
Hunting eagles, I believe. I'm not quite sure what the natives is, even though he didn't build the market, of course, because on Florida you always spawn with that. But yeah, let's see what he does. I mean, he collected the 100 gold, so he probably intends to do something with that. We'll see. For now he's only gathering food, so I assume that's it.
So does Jerry already? No, that's the basic gather rate. So he's not going to for hunting dogs. He's just constructing his house and floating 100 wood apparently. Also already got a couple of sheep here. One sheep at least. Florida has some of them. They can be really helpful for faster. Oh, there's a second one actually coming over now. It always helps with the scout of the French player.
Yes, exactly. I mean, let's have a look at the top left corner. What's going on there? Okay, so 100 food.
Yeah.
No contestation. Actually, there's no Lakota scout around.
That's always an issue. He's actually down here going for the 90 coin apparently. So Lakota was nerfed in terms of his explorer now moving slower than before, and
providing a lesser speed buff to surrounding units or surrounding allied units. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. 4 settlers coming in as first shipment. French should also be ready to send in just a second. Apparently the hunting dogs just gave him a little bit of a
XP boost, or maybe he got like an XP treasure. I didn't pay attention, honestly. But there's hunting dogs coming in for Jerry now as well. So he gathered the 50 coin with his villages, I believe, and put them back on food now. There's the shipment ready. I believe we're going to see the 3 couriers, I assume.
So let's have a peek at the deck actually. Pretty
so
standard. No water decks at all.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fairly standard French deck with like a lot of options in H2 and H3. So you can do both a Fast Fortress or a Semi-FF, maybe the Semi-FF, or maybe a Musketeer Hussar push, which is also quite liked nowadays by French players.
Going for 80 wood here, really good treasure. Also has the blow gunner here, really helping him out. That's really good. Lakota deck also pretty standard. 4 military shipments in H2. Not that many resource crates, could be more. Looks like an H2, H3 deck, but also H4. This is super aggressive.
It's insane how many units I can ship, right? Like,
yeah, and especially like all the cards in H4 as well. Like 16 and 18 Wakina Rifleman, and really looks like a game that shouldn't be dragged out too long for the Lakota player.
That's another 80 wood for the Lakota player. Is he aging up by now?
Yeah.
I think he should.
And he's also going for 80 food down here, so that will give him a little bit faster age up time as well.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
It's a little bit weird with the replays. It's going a little bit slower than it should be. But if we change the speed and make it faster, then it's too fast and also laggy. So this wouldn't be like real-time gameplay. You see the Explorer
Jerry's actually going for the first wood gathering upgrade now as well. I mean, if you have the market, by all means use it. What HUP is he choosing? Quartermaster?
Yes, Quartermaster for 𝐤𝐸𝐬𝐺 and the Chief.
The Chief. So that is, I think, I'm not quite sure what the Lakota are getting from that. I think like
it's the it's the former dog soldiers, if I'm not mistaken. So now called the Tokala soldiers.
Yeah, it might be. I'm not too familiar with the Lakota age-ups, I have to admit. But
actually, I think it's not. It's not that one. I'm confusing that one up with the Haudenosaunee who get with the Aztecs who get their Skull Knights from the Chief, if I'm not mistaken. But we will see in a second. So he's going for 40 wood here, also without the crack shot, just punching it down, really losing a lot of health here. But I guess he's fine with doing so because he's getting up to the Merchant Age in a second. So then he will get another like 100 health or 200, I think.
No, 100, I believe. But yeah, I mean, there's the villagers coming to the front, so I think we're going to see some aggression by the Lakota player here. By the way, we haven't spoiled it ourselves, so we are not familiar with this game. We are, as interested in what's going to happen as you are probably. So
that's actually a bit interesting going for a Warhead here. I mean, it makes sense because you can construct it during your age-up, so... I
think nowadays it's a standard to open with the Warhead as Lakota and only follow that up later with the stable. So I think this is fairly standard actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, got a little bit of a fight here. I mean, if he can actually damage the War Chief, that's like always good for him. I mean, even if he can't kill him.
Nice getting the pirate as well. Is he getting him? Oh, he's getting away. Could have been possible by snaring him with a. I think he tried to snare him with the
scout. Yeah.
With the scout. Okay, so now let's see what did we get here. So actually a lot of wood on the floor. So it's actually the 400 wood.
Yeah, that's
that
a 400 wood.
The
so
Chief.
that's equivalent of the Quartermaster then, I believe. So we're getting the first shipment out now as well. Is that the X-Riders? Yeah, that's the X-Riders. Yeah, that's a fairly nice shipment in conjunction with or in connection with the bowman he probably is going to train now.
Okay,
there's the Fokura shipment coming in, stable coming down now as well. So yeah, that looks like a fairly greedy standard French build. I mean, the Fokura is a very strong shipment for the French in H2, so that definitely gives him an eco boost. First TP coming now for the Lakota as well.
Exactly, and he's training a couple of Seaton bowmen, so that's a strong pop for with the 5 bowmen and the 4 X-Riders. I mean, Jerry is probably doing like a Hussar training now. Yep, he has his Hussars in queue, and those obviously really help against bowmen and also X-Riders. I think it's kind of even. 5 Hussars should be able to take those, but
the question is, can 5 Hussars take down 4 X-Riders and 5 bowmen, right? So that's the major question here. So he has to be careful not to lose any villages here, but I mean, he's a very experienced player, so I don't think that he will be annoyed too much by this X-Rider push here. I mean, he tries to buy some time with his coureurs, I believe, so that he can hopefully get his full batch out. Also, he got one of the X-Riders with this Town Center Fire. That was very fortunate for him, because now I think the 5 Hussars should be able to clean this up with a bit of town center support there.
That's not good. Missed that one.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a misclick there.
Now we have to push back.
Pull that one back, yeah. Now the Lakota player obviously has to fall back, because against the 5 Hussars, I think this is not a good engagement.
Would you look at that? The Lakota player is trying to take the trade route here, really going to Stagecoach. Already has 2 TPs up now. So he probably sent, he didn't even send wood, he's just chopping a lot of wood the whole time. That's kind of crazy.
He decided to go for the unit shipments instead.
That's another nice pop with the Club Warriors coming out, getting a swing on the first Hussar here. Really good
and also
damage.
the Hussars have been snared there, so it's kind of hard for them to get away now. But Jerry needs some more units here on the field ASAP. There's another shipment coming in. I think it was a Club Warrior shipment. Yeah, he decides to fight this. I mean, he got one of the X-Riders, but he lost 1 Hussar in exchange, and also the Hussars have been snared again, so I don't think that this was actually a good trade. But
he's gonna lose another one now.
Yeah,
so is he preparing for pop here, maybe? Actually, he's sending Minutemen.
Yeah, but I mean,
He won't
those
get a
Minutemen
full
can
village.
intercept. Yeah, but the Minutemen can intercept the club warriors, maybe.
There's a lot of more of them coming actually now. No military shipment in queue. He just got the 700.
He doesn't have one ready, yeah, but he needs to pay attention to his stable now. Otherwise, he will just. Oh no! Oh no! He wasn't paying attention, so that could have been 2 more hussars, but he only got 1 out. That's really bad.
Yeah, it's a bit unlucky. And now he's like losing his Minutemen here. The town center, of course, doing work. Will shoot out the chief now once again.
Yeah, I mean that was like fairly good for him that he got the chief down to like essentially being a one-shot earlier, so he can get him out now or shoot him out now rather. But
he's really taking out the clubs here, not losing any more villagers, making sure of that. Also having crossbows now in queue, so that's the next thing
from
that
the
will
home
happen.
city. Also, there's the barracks coming up, so I think we're going to see some musketeers in a couple of seconds as well. Oh, okay, he got that up.
There's
that's
the 𝐶𝐬𝐫 warriors coming in. Those are super beefy, of course. 550 hit points in H2. Super strong.
That's pretty strong actually, and I mean the problem here is that he's like more or less 100% idled the whole time. So I mean he can maybe gather the crates below his town center. Maybe he can also like gather a bit of food from the animal there, but I mean there is no hope for him actually getting any gold right now. So that might be a problem because obviously he needs gold for both musketeers and hussars.
He's also now eating his sheep just to get the maximum gather rate while the villagers are out there. I mean, he's really shooting it down this 𝐶𝐬𝐫 warrior here, but now he got his first batch of musketeers out. That's really good. He needs them against the 𝐶𝐬𝐫 warriors here. Otherwise, they would just crunch away those crossbows. Actually, also just putting some
out to tank a bit, and I think that's necessary. I mean, they're like pretty beefy for a settler unit, so. Sacrificing 2 of them in order to not lose his base here is probably not too bad of a deal.
Yeah, he actually was able to clean that up quite well now with the crossbows and the musketeers actually able to hold his position here quite well. Also, his stable did survive for now because it was just bows trying to take it down, so the bows weren't around the TC.
I think that was a bit of a miss micro by the.
This club is a little bit glitched into the TP.
That's so annoying that this bug still persists. I mean the TPs can, or the places where you can build them rather, are sometimes a death trap actually, because I mean how often did it happen to us that like a whole army or like half the army got stuck in like the TP instead of like walking forwards.
But it's really scary what the Lakota is now like doing here. Actually like now, he's only sending military, of course, but he's retraining a lot of units. Just got a seat in Bowman as well from the home city, and having cavalry in queue because he was able to get up a corral. And he's on 2 TPs with stagecoach on that, so that's also helpful.
Yeah, I mean he's floating 400 wood, so I'd like to see the 3rd TP there because I mean there's no need not to take it. Yeah, but still, I think for like a TP with stagecoach on it, I think I'd send the villager out to build it because that's like so much utility that like easily compensates for the loss in gathering time from like 1 villager.
Okay, more X-Riders trying to take down CDBs here, and those bows are of course really good against the musketeers, but there's cavalry about to pop right on them here.
Those bows just love the stable. I don't know why, man, but like they're really like big fan of sieging down that stable. Yeah, now he has like 2 hussars on top of the Catan or Seaton Bowman, and that's definitely good for him because he will at least get 2 of them. He needs to be careful with that CDB though. I think.
Look at that CDB really going to the front here, nearly shooting out that X-Rider.
Yeah, but. I mean, now he's pulling back. No need to use that one.
He got his chief back, so that's really good. He actually really needs that just to get the speed on his units, but he's about to lose it once more.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. The question is, how long is he going to keep it?
But actually, he's killing a lot of units here as well. Now, the Hussar will be dead. There's only bowmen here right now that are really killing off the remaining infantry. So it's really a lot of, like, skirmishing even in H2 here right now. Of course, not really skirmishing, but, like, no skirmishers on the field, but...
Yeah, but they're like really fighting this tooth and nail actually. So this is a do or die situation for Jerry here. Like one bad engagement can essentially cost him the game here.
700 coin was just on the floor. So if he's just sticking to food now, he has like 300 food in sheep standing around here, he might be able to get up to fortress, because that's really what he wants to get up to.
Yeah, I mean, he's like floating a lot of gold here, and I mean, it's kind of interesting because he gave up his barracks for that, and yeah, I'm not sure if like saving up the resources here was the right call. Also, he's supply block now. I mean, he has 170 wood. I'm not quite sure if he's saving that for another barracks or what his plan is. No, okay.
No, the barracks is already going up here, but
yeah. Yeah, but he definitely needs a house, because otherwise he cannot train any more CDBs or hussars.
So another really good like trade up here, taking down the X-Riders and the remaining bowmen, doing his best.
I think there's a clubman or 2 clubmen in there as well. So yeah, got those as well. So yeah, essentially for now he wiped all the military by the Lakota plan. I'm not quite sure if there's like a follow-up for this by Lakota. So if you lose your initial push, if you lose your momentum, I'm not quite sure if there's like any chance of coming back from that.
But he's really getting out more military here. Clubmen have now popped. There's
I mean, the game isn't over by all means. I mean, you can see it in the top right corner. We're not even like at half the time of this replay. So there's definitely more in store for us.
That is scary though here right now. He's actually going on bow riders now. I mean, that's really good because it helps to counter all those hussars here, and he can really go on bow riders and bowmen, and that really is a strong combination in H2 already. Like
yeah, that's essentially the Lakota version of 𝐂𝐦𝐩𝐫𝐞𝐬.
Yeah,
but already bow riders, very capable units, of course.
Yeah, and already available in H2, so it's a really good counter. But it's an expensive thing to keep running, like especially the bow riders, I think. Just a little bit difficult to really get out a lot of them to really be prepared against 10 hussars or something in H2. But both players actually trying to establish their ground here, set up their eco. I think Jerry would love to go up to fortress now. He's really collecting only food and gold, and he's like really having a lot of that in store right now, so I think he's really aiming at like going up. This mine is already run out pretty much, so he will need to get around here.
Changed to TP, he's got 2 coin as well, so he got all the coin he needs for aging up now. Yeah, he moves some more villages to food in order to speed up the process a bit. I mean, building the TP there was pretty clever by him, I'd say, because now he's like essentially in the lead in like economic population again, I think, because he's on
yeah, that's actually super shitty.
Yeah, that's like whatever the guys are doing there, that's like so annoying. Hope that he gets them out. I mean,
and the question is the next push coming in.
Yeah, what is he aging up with? Exiled Prince?
Yeah, that's a fast age up for sure. It's always so far. Already so far. So a lot of bowmen running around here, and also a lot of clubs really taking down the houses here, overpopping him, so he's not being able to train any more military. So this will be a difficult position to hold. He doesn't have any wood in stock. Okay, he's going on more houses now. That's why he doesn't have any wood in stock right now. But he will be idled pretty drastically, and he knows he can't really like fight against the units here. He just needs to just keep cool, wait until age up. So trying to get that out.
Yeah, I mean, his houses buy him a couple of seconds, of course, but yeah, those 2 CDBs there in the trade post, that's like so annoying because obviously they cannot escape from the bowman.
Yeah,
and I mean, he even told his opponent that those are stuck in the TP. So
so now up to fortress. What do you reckon? What is he sending from his home city? Is it already? It's not soon enough for falconets. They will be taken out by all this cavalry here, but probably skirmishers. But there's some extra
skirmishes, or maybe coursiers, but there's too many bowmen there, so now
skirmishes it is. He just needs to really prepare against the 4 X-Riders here. Those will be doing a lot of work if they are able to be under the TC when the skirmishers pop. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's why he tries to actually lure them away and get them killed now. So that actually works quite well for him, but he needs to be careful. Oh yeah, he's losing a lot of hussars against the clubmen there. That's really bad for him.
Skirmishes
so
coming
first, 2 skirmishes out now. They are focusing on the bow riders for now. The pop from the TC will come in shortly as well. They might be able to intercept the new batch of clubmen there.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Rather. Yeah,
but he's already losing a lot of villagers here. Lost at least 6
CDBs. I think he lost 6.
6, 7 now.
I mean, now, I wanted to say that, like, with 1 TP and, like, the amount of villages he had when he aged up, he was definitely ahead, because I think he had, like, a similar number of villages compared to the Lakota. I mean, okay, no.
No, not anymore. The Lakota,
actually,
he sent 4 and 5. I mean, of course, you always have to keep in mind the Lakota will always have a little bit more because it's just the CDBs just taking a little bit longer to train, more expensive as well, but also have a higher gather rate. So,
of course, yeah, you need to multiply that number by 1.25 essentially in order to like get like a fair comparison, of course. But this is so bad because he has to sacrifice those 3 CDBs again in order to keep his skirmishes safe, at least from one side. Also, he has no units coming in for now because he is lacking that food income right now.
So now training goons here, really the best thing to do.
Shipping the cuirassiers. Yeah, those have been nerfed as well. I'm not quite sure if the difference in H3 is that significant. So I think they should be a tiny bit weaker in H3 than they were before, but it shouldn't be that much of a difference. So in H3, they're like still the same, strong, reliable unit, but obviously 3 of them is not much.
He's really struggling here. Like, he lost so many skirmishers to those X-Riders. More X-Riders now coming in. I mean, the goons are about to pop. Will be 3 of them.
Was that the TC taking out the?
I think so. Yeah. Losing another CDB down here actually. But now the goons are here, and now the accuracy will also pop.
He should be able to fend this off for now. But the question is, did it cost him too much? So is he actually able to recover from this, or did he lose too many coureurs? Because obviously, Lakota player still hasn't taken the 3rd trade post.
Yeah, I'm amazed by that as well. He's like really floating a lot of wood. Like, just take one of the villages here and build that train.
Just build it for Christ's sake. Yeah, exactly.
This would have been 1,000 resources or something up to this point.
Yeah, probably. And like you said, he's like actually floating a lot of wood, so there's no actual need to not do it.
But Lakota now also queuing his Fortress Age just in a minute, I would say. It's in now. Messenger,
so fast age. And
now,
so yeah, I mean,
Jerry is pushing back here, which makes sense. He's really trying to make the best out of his tech advantage in terms of units here up to this point, because economically he's behind, so he really needs to make some good trades here now. Although looking at the points, he's actually not that far behind. Like, it's pretty even though he has like half the villagers.
Yeah, even though you should keep in mind that Lakota are always a bit underrated when it comes to the points because they don't have houses. So
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
They are not properly reflected strength-wise by the point score.
So now more clubs here. Actually, an interesting combination of like clubs and X-Riders. Just pure melee combination here.
Yeah, he's going for the good old Huss Musk, so to speak. Well, rather Huss Pike.
Really able to get a lot of damage out of these cuirassiers here. He's really like running them around and not taking too many swings now, and now it's really shooting him off.
Yeah, he kept all 3 of them, and I mean, even though it's not an ideal trade, probably because obviously the macemen are good, or the clubmen or club warriors rather, are good against the cuirassiers, but on the other hand, the cuirassiers are mighty strong against bunched up infantry. So if he is able to like get 3 or 4 swings out, then that is already probably a cost-efficient trade with the cuirassiers.
So Lakota losing his trade post here, sending the Tokala soldiers actually as first shipment, and now also resurrecting his war chief with the community plaza. So that's definitely a good point to add that in at some point, just being able to train that guy up again. You see he's reviving now, and also just giving him more damage. Like, not more damage, but more health points. It's really helpful.
Yeah, and like the Lakota chief is like pretty strong tank actually. So having those 1,250 HP in front of your normal units is definitely something that can win you an engagement. Also, I mean, obviously you can disengage much easier with him being alive, of course, because even though the speed buff was nerfed, it's still existent. So you still buff the speed by surrounding allied units by 10%. And that's obviously a huge bonus.
Yeah, look at that. He just had like 1,000 hit points plus like on his base of 500. That's like already so crazy. And now he like moved his settlers away here, trying to get more resources. Also has researched elite X Riders. Or is he researching them? Yep. Elite X Riders now popping in. Also the third rifle riders already out on the field.
Oh, Jerry feels safe enough now to actually ship his falconets, and he's putting the siege on the Lakota player with that. But the Lakota player is essentially not giving a fuck, like going around that.
Yeah, he knows that like
right here.
Those goon masses will be strong. The first Wakina riflemen are now on the field here. Those are actually really good for countering goons. Just really not sure what to do with the falconets here, but this is a scary situation when those cavalry units from the Dakota can pop in here and shoot out or just kill off the falconets.
Yeah, I mean that's the main question here essentially.
And the big button
right
also
about that. Can the hand cav units connect here, or are they unable to actually get into the falconets? And for now, it looks like the Lakota player is afraid of taking the engagement here.
Yep.
Funny thing is, I mean, he has 43 villages, or settlers rather, and Jerry is on like 22, maybe 24 by now. So he hasn't got out a second town center or anything. He has got like 1 TP, but so does the Dakota player. So even if you multiply the villager number by 1.25, you're still gonna find that the Dakota player is massively in the lead when it comes to villagers right now. So I'm not quite sure if right now is actually the time for him to fight this, because I mean, he has a stronger eco. He can definitely technically lean back and just try to like actually use that to his advantage, get more troops out. He just needs to make sure that the French player does not recover.
Yeah.
So
you are right, like he's in the lead now, but he's also like getting a really strong mass here. Those two Kala warriors are just super strong, and he has a lot of them. He shipped them, he also researched the big button, and now that's a scary mass here, especially with the war chief in as well.
Yeah, most definitely. What is Jerry doing down there? He's fighting Wakina rifleman with goons. All right, okay, I think that was not intended.
No, absolutely not. He just like occasionally stumbled upon them. I think he wants to get the resources on the left-hand side here. He really needs to move his CDBs out just to get more coin and food, because he doesn't have any left in base really. So
yeah, he only has that one coin mine in base, and that obviously won't hold for long. And as you can see, he's like bled dry when it comes to like food right now. He desperately needs some additional hunts, and so therefore he needs to secure some map control, which is quite hard against Lakota, of course. Yeah, this might be it. Is this like a decisive engagement here? Can he actually catch the riders here? I mean, he has at least got one shot out. So
a couple of good shots. Couple of good shots here on the units without like taking any shot. And now the Wakina is coming in as well. They will be greeted by cuirassiers and skirmishers,
as well as the cannons.
Did they get one shot off? Oh wow, yeah,
they do.
Taking one
even
out
though
here.
Even though that was just one of the Wakina riflemen, but of course one is better than nothing, I suppose.
But losing one of the cuirassiers, so also
quite
course. Even.
But I suppose so. Yeah, I mean that cuirassier was like down to a couple hit points, I suppose.
Okay, what we get? 1,000 wood. What do you think? Maybe a second town center up here, just securing this position.
Would be nice, but he's instead going for the calf combat. He decides that like there is going to be a decisive engagement very soon, so he wants that calf combat. I mean,
the warrior here. Why not? He's just standing around it anyway, just taking down the guardians here.
Yeah, I mean that's some free experience, right? So yeah, he realized that as well, I suppose, and now he's trying to resurrect him. That's the Wakina rifle rider shipment, right?
That's really dangerous here.
Yeah. I mean, the Lakota can force the engagement here. I'm just not quite sure if he actually wants to do that. So I think for now he's pulling back. Oh, he lost one of the Tokala soldiers. That's obviously a huge loss there.
Do you think that like Jerry moved his units back to get his explorer back, right? Mostly,
yeah, I suppose so. So I think he didn't know that the Lakota was going to go for his villages, but
maybe
let's
he was
call it intuition by an experienced player. Yeah, exactly. I think he just thought, okay, there's something fishy. I might go back to my villages and try to make sure that they won't die. Yeah, that one
the
is
scout.
quite well placed, actually. Yeah, he is giving him a lot of information. And
doesn't seem just a little bit too far from the chief here. I mean, what you have to remember about this map is oh, he's also seeing the Wokina mass here now. He's really... So he trained a couple of Curious here, so they will be really helpful against those Wokina.
The Lakota player doesn't have any bow riders right now, right?
No, I don't think so. It's like X-Riders all over the place and Riflemen. So
yeah, the thing is, I mean, with his goons, he cannot, like, he can always disengage, right? So, I mean, the Lakota player can try to catch his goons, but, like, fighting them in melee is probably not what he wants to do. So, that's not the issue here. But if he, like, does that and pull back with his goons, he will definitely lose his falconets, and that's what we're seeing right here. Which is quite bad for him because now the Lakota is already on top of his couriers again, because those are gathering food there. So yeah, if he's like falling back further, which he's doing right now, he's like losing all of his CDBs he trained over the last couple minutes here, which is not like nice for him.
Losing skirmishers, losing goons as well, losing his falcon. That's really difficult position. Just too many Wakinas here, really. And I'm quite amazed that the Lakota was actually able to kill off those like 5 or 6 Curiouses without any problem. But then again, they are a little bit like the Tukala warriors. It's just one unit. They take up a lot of fighting, but I think they were quite even in terms of like really strong melee cav units, like the Curiouses and Tukala.
Also, you shouldn't discard the X-Riders too easily, I suppose, because those can be like very strong as well.
Yeah, they are
the chief nearby.
Yeah, 43 hand damage.
I mean, that the problem here is that like this engagement costs him 6 villages again. So I mean, his eco is like looking very bad right now. And if the Lakota player decides to like go heavily on Wakina riflemen now, then I'm not quite sure how his goons are going to save him here.
I'm really not sure what to do from this position. I mean, like, economy-wise, it's really, like, 30 villages in the lead here. And if Jerry isn't able to put out a really...
he's floating a bunch there. You see that? Like, he's... He got, like, idle villages to the right of the map and also to the left, I think. Yeah, okay, now he solved it. No idle villages anymore, but still.
But this goon mass is also...
his chief again.
This goon mass is really like dangerous as well here for the Lakota now, because Lakota does have a couple of Wakinas here, but it's right like now he's peeking in here and he's like able to take out all the melee cav here.
But the Wakina riflemen can probably deal with that. And the thing is, like, goons are obviously a very strong unit against cavalry, but the problem with them is that you cannot really use them for raiding, and you can also not really use them for sieging down anything. So if the Lakota player plays cards right here, doesn't lose too many Wakina riflemen, then I think he should be fine against the goons. But yeah, he needs to be very careful here.
That's some on-point goon play here right now. Really poking in, not taking a single melee volley, just moving them back as soon as possible again. Okay, now actually one of them gets snared, but he's really like killing off a lot of units here and not losing too many.
He gets a lot of utility out of these goons, and he needs to, because he cannot replace them right now because his economy is so bad.
And now more villages up here. That was actually a big volley here.
Yeah,
the Wakinas really placed a lot of very successful shots here. It's also like some of those goons are really near death, but that's what you expect. I mean, that's pretty standard. But
yeah, let's go back to Jerry's perspective for a second. Is he shipping anything?
So he did not ship 1,000 wood yet. He shipped only military.
I'd love to see, honestly, I'd love to see that, because I mean, right now he's in a pretty dire situation.
So, like, look at that. That's the best thing that can happen to him. Just killing out some X-Riders. He was like always training.
Like a gift to him. Oh, there's Cuirassiers coming in. The Cuirassiers are probably now like charging into the Wakina riflemen. No, they actually aren't. They're fighting the melee cavalry here.
Yeah, but just for now.
Sure.
Just for now.
Yeah, of course, but
now killing off that chief once again, it's always like takes up a lot of villager seconds to get that back, and it's always 1,500 hit points here being taken out at the moment.
Now he's on top of the Wakinas. Still don't get why the Lakota player decided to go so heavily on melee cavalry here. I mean, why didn't he actually build some more, like, either musket riders or are they called musket riders? I think they're now called rifle riders, right?
I think so. Yeah, the musket riders are the musket riders are the one of the Horde Missionaries, so it's rifle riders, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. yeah, he could have either built them, even though they're not a good counter to goons, obviously, or instead maybe some bow riders. So I mean, for those of you who don't know, I think that's like something worth pointing out here. The rifle riders by the
that chief
Lakota essentially function like skirmishes on horseback, but they have like this weird quirk where they are like both. Oh yeah, they're coming in like finally. They have this weird quirk where they're like both counted as heavy cavalry and light cavalry, which means that they're like both counted by goons and also by skirmishers. So they have like a lot of potential counters. But obviously, on the other hand, they're like strong against heavy infantry. They're strong against hand cavalry as well. So
look at like that chief. Look at that chief. He's just taking all those shots. But yeah, Jerry really fought his way back here. Like just a minute ago, that looked very dangerous for him. And now he's like back on the field here. I mean, I think it was the right decision really to not go heavy on skirmishes, but instead like build a big goon mass and maybe mix in some couriers here like he did if there are Wikinas around. Because the problem is those X-Riders and T'Challa soldiers are just so strong in melee and really taking out the skirmishers. He lost the skirmishers and Falconets early on. And but going heavily on goons and also sending cav combat, which really helps to make your goon and cavalry in general like beef up.
Yeah, I mean, one problem with like using skirmishers or cannons, as we have seen earlier in this game, is that you're like very slow moving, so you cannot really disengage, which was the problem with his cannons, right? So he tried to like save his Falconets for a while and lost a couple units doing that. Also lost those CDBs because like his whole army wasn't like mobile enough to like actually disengage the Lakota there. So like only going in cavalry can be quite useful from time to time because you're obviously very fast and you can choose your own engagements, at least theoretically. And so yeah, I'm not quite sure what the problem here by the Lakota player was. In my opinion, he had like struggle with his army composition, so I'm not convinced of all the X-Riders he built.
Yeah, I think he really prepared, because of the skirmishers and Falconets, that there will be more skirmishers coming. I think he was preparing for the classic goon-skirm combination, and that's why he built mostly like X-Riders just to counter those skirmishers. But there was just only goons coming. So,
but for the last 5 minutes, he saw that there were only goons coming, right? So why train any more of these? And I mean, I'm not quite sure how many he actually built in the last 5 minutes. I think in the last 5 minutes, he mainly tried to get out these Vakina riflemen. Second big, thing I have with like the Lakota playstyle is that for some reason he like refused to like build this third TP for the whole game.
Yeah, that was super weird. That would have been really helpful because he also researched Stagecoach very early on.
What are you looking for there? Or resources gathered?
Yep, I just wanted to have a look at the resource rate. Yeah, look at that.
That's very unsurprising, of course, because Jerry lost so many villages in this game. I mean, if you have a look at the villager population, it wasn't like he was raided, so that was not like rookie mistakes where he lost villages unnecessarily, but he always used them to actually function as meat shields, which he can do with the CDBs, but it will damage your economy in the long run like very badly. And
really sacrificed them.
Yeah, exactly. We saw this 2 times here. I mean, the first one like actually brought him back into the game shortly after he aged up to the 3rd age, defended a couple of units he had. The second one was probably a bit less necessary because...
but even then, look at that. Like, the Lakota was out-popping him like crazy. And I think by sacrificing the CDBs there, just making them tank some of the melee damage from the X-Riders, that really allowed him to really like kill off most of these units. Like, look at I
agree, even though you probably have to add like, what was it, 6 or 7 additional units to the casualties here, like to the blue bar, because or the blue line, of course, because the CDBs are not counted here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe have a look at the is there all population? Yeah, exactly. So this is more like it, and I think from this perspective the engagement wasn't that great.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but look at like maybe without the villagers, maybe Jerry would have dropped down to like 0. And this way he still had 10 goons getting more out, and he was able to fight his way back because of that. And
I agree that he had to use the villages there. I'm just saying that the fight didn't like go ideally.
It wasn't really a good fight. It's like the Lakota just got out a lot of units in H3. It's really a big like army here.
Yeah, and I mean, from there onwards, Jerry was essentially playing an all-in, right? I mean, he completely gave up on actually recovering his eco. He sent only unit shipments and military upgrades. He refused to send the 1,000 wood. He never built a second town center. I mean, he continued to build villages, of course, but from there onwards, if he would have lost those goons once, then that would have been GG.
Yeah, I'm just still amazed by like how much he got out of his goons from here on. Like he was really down on military, and the Lakota had a lot of Wokinas. That was basically the only minutes that he was the only units that he was training at that time here, getting out more Wokinas. But he was able to like shoot out so many of them, really recovering his mass here, and taking down the Lakota. Up to this point, he was like really keeping him on a line here, and at the same time really going up in military. That was super well played there.
Of course, yeah, that goon play was insanely good. But yeah, like the Lakota player had so much economy, and he got so little out of it. And I wouldn't say at all that the Lakota units are bad, right? So like, I mean, the Axe Riders are very strong, the Bow Riders are very strong units as well. So are the Tukalas. So it's not like he had like trash units that like I don't know, like the Chinese maybe, or the Aztecs with the Otonton Slingers. So losing so many of these, yeah, that was very painful. I mean, if you have a look at that, I mean, Jerry nearly had like he actually had a 2-to-1 kill death ratio, right, against a civilization that essentially only uses cavalry. I mean,
although you have to say like the Lakota trained a lot of those clubmen, which are okay for taking out melee cav and taking down buildings. Of course, it's kind of a pike unit, but like 60 of them, he really lost a lot of them to musketeers, crossbows, and then also to the skirmishers, town center fire as well, sure. And like the rather fast age up time from Jerry, really like at this point, this was like a lot of clubs going down here. So maybe just a little bit too heavy focus on clubs. I think he just really wanted to win the game at that point, so he was kind of playing
like
an all-in.
It's like COVID times, right? A lot of clubs going down.
Yeah, no, it's actually, that's what happened here. Like, I think the Lakota really wanted to close off the game here and like really massed a lot of units here and a lot of siege units as well to take down buildings, but wasn't able to.
Yeah, like I said, quite proud of like what Jerry did with this couple units he had here. So he definitely fought his way back into this with military, not with his economy, of course. But yeah, so this is like a fairly interesting game, actually. So that was actually an unsuspected comeback because it was like looking pretty dire for him after this engagement in like the middle of the map where he lost his falconets.
I'm not even sure where he got his resources from. Like the last 10 minutes, there was no resources down here. I mean, he was up here with some CDBs, but like he also lost 10 of them, like trying to get the resources here. And it's really crazy how he was able to. I mean, he sent mostly units, right? Like a lot of units here that we had on the field in this game were sent from the home city for both, actually.
Yeah, of course. But still, I'm not also convinced of the Lakota army composition. Maybe a more experienced Lakota player can actually like give some feedback on that. But I'm not convinced that like going on Axe Riders and Wokina Riflemen was like the right call here. So yeah, like I said, maybe somebody who's more experienced with the civilization can like actually give some feedback on that, because obviously Lakota is nothing we like usually tend to play. Even though they're apparently pretty strong in team games. So I mean, at least to the according to the developers, they were the civilization with the strongest or the best win rate in team games, apparently. Not quite sure if that was like due to like a lot of seal clubbing going on though, like more experienced players actually playing against less experienced players, because in these engagements or like fights, the Lakota are pretty strong, obviously, because you can raid your opponent to death. But yeah, they were pretty strong, and or still are probably. And yeah,
the other way
to take him down nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. The other way, the other thing that I just want to mention, like the Lakota never sent cav combat. And at that big fight in the end where he lost all the 10 villages here, or CDBs actually, he had a lot of units at that point, a lot of Axe Riders, his war chief, and of course the Tukala warriors, and they would have all benefited from cav combat. I think also the chief, right? He's also counting his cavalry.
Don't think so. I think
don't you think so? Okay.
Nah, hero units are like counted separately, but still, like
but
all his Axe warriors and the Tukala soldiers would have been improved by that. Yeah, that's certainly true.
And at the same time, Jerry sent the card and like had really beefy goons and also curiosities because of that. So I kind of like the decision on going full Cav here in the later parts of the game and not training anymore like skirmishers, or at least not many of them. And just overwhelming the opponent with Cav. It's also like it's really hard to pull off against Lakota because they just have such a strong cavalry, and also anti-Cav, the bow riders are really good units, and
yeah,
interesting.
I think that's it for today. Again, thank you very much to Jerry for providing this replay, and also one thing I wanted to say is if you're watching this and you're an experienced player and you want us to cast your replay, feel free to get in contact with us either via Discord or via email, and just send us a replay. We have a look at it, and yeah, maybe we're going to cast it. So if you want that, please feel free to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drop us a message.
Also, if you haven't seen the strategy video that we did with Jerry a couple of days or weeks ago, go check that out. It's on our channel with a nice Incan build order. Really interesting. And otherwise than that, just want to mention once more that you should definitely follow Jerry on Twitch because he's a really skilled player and streaming on Twitch. So definitely make sure to check that out every now and then. Leave some love. Maybe deliver best greetings from BattleBrothers. And yeah, I would say that's it.
I'd say.
Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye.
See ya.